Hello, Gareth here, and just going to talk about a painting I did, and it was a rice field, a Japanese rice field. So it all began with this sketch. So it is a sketch, and I didn't bother with the sky because I really wanted to make sure that the landscape itself looked interesting. So at first I wanted to do this soft misty background, and I was very interested in getting the texture here right in the foreground. And the thing that I most liked about this rice field was the patches of mud and the really beautiful pattern that creates. So that's what attracted me to this scene. So this is a painting of a place in Shonai, Oita Prefecture, Japan. So anyway, that's where I began, and then I moved on to this sketch. So here the rice field is looking a lot better, and I was playing with the idea of having like a bluer kind of background, and I got rid of the mist, and again I'm playing with texture here in the foreground. So it's just playing around with things. And then in my third sketch I suddenly did a golden sunset and had that reflected here in the water. I quite like that. And then I thought it would be interesting to have a tree here in the foreground. So I quite like that idea. So then I tried to bring it all together into this finished painting. And although I like the sky, I think it's a bit too busy, and it's not clear that this is smoke. Really, it's supposed to be smoke. It looks, I don't know, a bit confusing. So I like the texture here in the foreground though. So not a bad attempt, and interesting. And so then I moved on to this one. So here it's much clearer that this is smoke, but again the sky is too busy, and I'm happy with the rice field. I think that's quite good. I wanted to get like a white part and a warmer part and then a cool part in that rice field. So I'm fairly happy with this, but I think it can be improved a lot. And then what happened is I just decided to paint a totally different kind of rice field, and I did a portrait style painting. So I really love the sky in this. I think the sky is awesome, and I thought the landscape was a bit more interesting. And then I did another one, and in this one I wanted to show figures along the footpath, and also little shoots of rice here, but I'm not sure if that really worked out so well. I like the sky and the mountain in the background and these power lines or whatever and the figures, but I'm not sure about these shoots. And then there were just some sketches I did. So this is one of my first sketches, and I really like these sketches. They seem to have an energy that the more finished paintings just don't have. I like this use of gouache here. I think that looks nice, and I used a more colourful, more powerful sky, so I was quite happy with that. But it is a sketch. And then I did another one, I Can't Stop, and yeah, this figure here is like the focal point. So that was another sketch, just playing around with things. And then I decided, that maybe portrait isn't the best format, so I should be doing landscape. So I had to think about, am I going to have like the emphasis on the sky, give most space to that, or on the water? And I decided to do it on the water. So I think this is the first one I did. I'm quite happy with that. And of course, in the way you do get the sky still in the rice field, in the water in the rice field. And I decided to make this path a light green because the sun is catching it, and to have these dramatic shadows. So, and I kind of like the shoots of rice in this painting, so that's not bad. And then I just played around with the idea of like the sun being really low and catching the tree. So I didn't paint the sky, but just playing with that idea, and also catching the grass here and tinting it orange, because I quite like that. And perhaps I was playing with warm and cool, so I've got very blue here and very orange here, but I didn't actually continue with that, not much anyway. So I did another one, and I like the way the figures in this footpath, they merge with this background and connect the picture. So I like that. So that was just playing around with everything again. And then another playing around. I really like though the colour in this. It's really glowing, so I love that. And yeah, quite happy with this one. In some ways it's not quite right, but I like it. And I did the edge of the foliage more correctly, a really nice dry brush effect, so it looks a bit more realistic and more interesting. Yeah. And then another one, but this time I thought maybe these roofs are going to be cool, not bright yellow because they're in the shade, and maybe also the water in the rice field here is going to be cooler, and the light's going to be more here. So and I gave him a bit of an orangey hat because that was supposed to be the sunlight catching the hat, but I should have done a bit more work on that. And here now this light green is really emphasized. I quite like that. And then the final one, which I did a video of, is this one. So it's a nice painting, but I think the other one just has more energy, but I'm quite happy with this. It's a little bit subdued compared to the other ones. It looks more finished and kind of more professional perhaps, but it just doesn't have the energy of the sketch. So there you go. So I would have liked to have done some more paintings of this rice field and played around with the colours a bit more, but I'm a bit busy at the moment and have to move on with other projects. But I'm quite happy with leaving this here, and I really had a lot of fun with this. So I hope you enjoyed me talking about this and the creative process. I don't know about you, but you can see it can be a very messy process, and there can be real sudden and dramatic changes in what you do. But there can also be certain progressions and stuff like that as well, and slight improvements at the same time. So I guess there's two parts of the process. There you go. So that's all, and happy painting. Bye.